Good morning, all.
Morning.
Good morning.
How have you been, guys?
Very good. It's not 3 a.m. here, so I'm happy.
I'm not happy because tomorrow I'm going to be up at 3 a.m. as well, since the day after tomorrow. So I'm going to be up at 3 a.m. as well.
Yeah, talking about that.
Oh, no. You're going to be up at 3 a.m. for the next 10 days. So don't worry about that, Steve.
That's it. You know.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Traders Summit, Day 3. Coach, you look great for this time in the morning. You always do, though.
Well, you know, genetics.
Yes, indeed.
Genetics. That's awesome.
Born a good-looking man, still a good-looking man.
Right. I was going to say we're blessed. We're all going to be blessed if we end up with those types of genes that you have, Dale. It looks like we do have Marcus Fetherston here from EIGHTCAP, but I just wanted to say, wow, what a great event we've had the last 3 days. I still am. My ears actually are ringing from yesterday's event with Danny and Peter.
Yeah, that was very exciting, I must say.
That was something.
Yeah.
Dale, were you a little as nervous as I was trying to step in between these two guys?
Yeah, you know, control was lost at the onset, so very difficult. You came up with your clock later on, but we haven't had a situation like that. I think it was a fiasco.
It was, but it was like watching a train wreck, right? Like in slow motion. It really was.
Yeah.
But Ryan, thank you for actually starting to scream at Danny Blanchard.
Yeah, Ryan's a bouncer, man. He's a natural bouncer.
And he has officially screamed at a MPC member. That's awesome, right?
That's right.
You've waited your whole life for that moment, Ryan. You were prepared, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, I want you head of security to keep
all my fans away from me.
He already has the proper hairstyle for that, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we survived.
Awesome. Well, hey, guys, we have a jam-packed day. Looking at our schedule, I want to make sure that everybody knows it's a long day. It's a good day. And we will have we were going to be doing the giveaway a little bit later today at
the giveaways.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern, based on what I'm seeing. Is that correct, Steve?
Depends. We might have a little bit of a change of schedule, so that is one possibility, to have it then. Another possibility is to have it a little bit earlier. We're going to know soon enough. We've asked Anton if he wants to come for longer. We're expecting an answer for him to give him a different slot.
Put it this way: it's about anywhere between 12:30 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing that giveaway
somewhere there.
Just if you have an opportunity to be around for that, because you don't have to be to win. But I mean, look, it's not like we have 150,000 people that have registered. Actually, the odds are quite good for you to win an iPhone 14 or a $250,000 trader funding program assessment.
What a great prize. That could change your life.
Yeah, seriously. So make sure you guys are around. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Marcus Fetherston, because it is 11 p.m. in Melbourne, Australia. Marcus, are you here?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. I'd love to see you at 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday evening. How are you? How are you doing?
Not too bad, actually. Not too bad. No, it's good to be here. So yeah, definitely surprised that I'm still awake. Actually, I thought I'd accidentally fall asleep or something at this point, but no, glad I forced myself to stay up to attend.
Well, we're glad to have you here. We can't see your video, by the way.
Let's switch that on then. Let's change that. One sec.
Okay, if you're in your pajamas.
Only from the waist down. Only from the waist down, Dave.
Well, we all know that trick, right?
Oldest trick in the book.
It's the COVID dress book, right?
So I want to say, Marcus, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. And by the way, thanks to EIGHTCAP for sponsoring this event. Without EIGHTCAP, it doesn't happen. So we really appreciate EIGHTCAP being our platinum sponsor, making sure that this Trader Summit event can, take place. And actually, I know you guys are giving away a couple iPhone 14s. And, if you guys are at home watching Marcus and watching this event, make sure you visit EIGHTCAP, especially if you live outside the United States. I know in the United States you can't open broker or accounts, and that's one of the drawbacks one of the things that I can't do. But I love the way that you guys service your customers, and how hands-on you are with them. Can you tell us a little bit about EIGHTCAP yourself, and I'll let you go from here.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, it's great to be here, Blake. EIGHTCAP's happy to sponsor the event. For those of you who don't know, EIGHTCAP is a global CFD and FX derivatives provider headquartered out of Melbourne, Australia. Been around since 2009, since grown to be a bit of a global force in the CFD game. So we have offices in London, Cyprus, Bangkok, all over the world. So yeah, it's definitely tried a bit more of a global view of what we do and how we service our clients. As for myself, I'm the Director of Operations at EIGHTCAP. So I work on everything relating to pricing, liquidity, infrastructure, and everything that really ends up touching the end trader and affecting them in terms of the trading product, so to speak. Okay, so I guess I'll just dive straight on in there and give everyone a bit of sort of a run through of us and sort of what we offer. I mean, it's definitely an interesting time for markets right now in the space. I think, just when we thought the world couldn't get any weirder or any stranger, we see the last few weeks of a massive increase in volatility. And I found this very interesting from my perspective, because I think it's shown the importance of liquidity now more than ever. I think, the struggle for liquidity is something I think that affects retail traders quite consistently, but now we're seeing it on the institutional side of what's happening in the UK bond market, what's happening sort of around the world. We're seeing a lot of cages being rattled right now. And it's kind of interesting because on my side, I feel a bit of, not vindication, but I think I've kind of been saying for a while that, liquidity has come a lot easier the last 5 to 10 years. Credit has come easily and a lot of these things. And there's a flow-on effect of that. I think we haven't really seen, the true crux of a liquidity, shock to the system, so to speak. So we're kind of in this predicament where we're seeing, major institutions affected by liquidity. And we're seeing, I think, a lot of the lessons that everyday traders face being faced by institutions. We're seeing these, balance sheet shocks to the UK pension funds and things like that. And it's sort of a very telltale sign, a very telling thing that, I think these issues that face, everyday retail traders are being faced by institutions very heavily now. So I think we're at a point where liquidity becomes, a very big issue for traders. And when I talk about liquidity, I talk about the idea of being filled, getting on with your trade and being able to enter the market at the price that you need to get in at and exiting when you need to get in at, because it's a very important thing. I think when I talk to our traders, when I go to client events and that, I think being traders, I think we sometimes forget it's a market at the end of the day. I think we see it as a bunch of charts. We see lines on a screen. We see prices move up and down. We just think, I need to get filled at this point. My trade is entering at this point. There go. I should be entered at that exact price. But it's actually not that simple. I mean, at the end of the day, the way I see it is markets behave entirely as liquidity matching. It was really the matching of buyers and sellers. And like I said, I think we really forget that at the end of the day in a lot of our technical strategies, looking at how the charts play around. As such, really the matching of buyers and sellers is liquidity. And that's where I think EIGHTCAP comes in to present a very strong value proposition to end traders. I think we're not just, trying to give people a trading platform, trying to give them a range of instruments. We do have all of that, and that's fantastic. But I think sort of our real main point that we try to bring up is our liquidity and the spreads that we offer. I don't think we really try to have a set and forget method when it comes to offering pricing, offering liquidity to our clients. Much in the same way, I think traders, when they enter the market, their strategies have to develop. They have to be dynamic. You can't do the same thing day in, day out, because the markets are dynamic as well. And in the same way, how a broker approaches its liquidity, how a broker wants to come in and price something, where it wants to route trades through, who are its providers, are very important at the end of the day. And so I always say to clients, I say to traders, where you choose to trade is almost as valuable as the strategy you're choosing to trade, because the trade that you have is only as valuable as the ability to fill it, the underlying liquidity, and the spreads that are on offer. I mean, just as a rough example, I think a lot of scalping trades, if you're going to someone who has a wider spread or a very shallow type of book, your strategy might not work between brokers. And that's where it becomes very vital. to make sure you're going with the right provider. So I genuinely believe for most traders, again, outside the US, like you said, Blake, ACAP is a broker of choice, very popular, and we consistently beat spreads week in, week out over long periods of times to remain consistently tight on the top of book spread, but also provide a large volume on the top of book spread as well.
And Marcus,
Marcus,
do you mind if I'm going to stop you really quick? And I think this is an important, real for us traders. This is a really important topic. Is liquidity. You know, I was just actually dealing with one of our traders in the trader funding program who was asking about, you know, like what happened. You know, I tried to get filled here, and I ended up getting filled at different prices. And I think a lot of retail traders have this it's a flawed idea of what it means that there's a bid or there's an offer. That means I'm going to get that price. But that doesn't necessarily happen to be the case. I've actually done, and personally, I did a fat finger in the Aussie dollar when I was trading when I was prop trading for a firm, and I mean I was down 28 grand within a swipe of a button. But I knew what would happen when I hit that button accidentally. Actually, my flashlight hit that button accidentally. Regardless, it filled through a bunch of different prices, and next thing you know, I took out everybody, and that can happen. And if you don't have a broker that can provide you liquidity, you could be in situations where you're trying to get out and you can't get out. But ACAP has the liquidity behind it, and I think that's important that people understand that.
100%. It's funny. It's bring it back to literally market principles at the end of the day. Like I said, we forget it's a market. We just think it's trading. We think it's prices. But at the end of the day, if you picture like a physical market, like you're on a trading floor, maybe you're an actual like market, you know, selling fruit or something like that. If you are there and there's a range of smaller buyers out there and you're coming in with one very, very large position, you're offloading, you know, a wholesale position, you're selling a whole truckload of vegetables, fruit, whatever, and there's only small buyers out there, you have to accept a range of different prices to fill your larger order. So it's not like the first price you see or the best price you want is the one you're going to get. In reality, that price has to be filled between a variety of different people out in the market. And that's essentially how it works. And it's sometimes just almost simplifying it and bringing it back to those market mechanics. I think it is always good for traders to approach it with at the end of the day.
How did you guys, and speaking of which, you guys have had your I want to say, I was going to use a different word to explain this, but your vast amount of networks that you have for all of these different altcoins, where do you find all of your liquidity for all of these? I mean, there's so many crypto products that you can trade with ACAP. Where did you find it all?
Yeah, and that's a great thing to highlight, Blake. You know, we have one of the world's largest, regulated crypto derivatives offerings. We have around 300 plus crypto derivatives on offer in our platforms right now, among many other instruments. Overall, I think we're totaling over 1,200, 1,300 instruments on CFDs right now. So it is quite a large offering as well. But like I said before, I think it's having a dynamic approach to liquidity. I think much like traders changing their strategy, we change our strategy on how we price things. You know, no 2 days are the same and markets changes. So when it came to the crypto side, about a year and a half ago now, I think we were seeing crypto derivatives sort of spread out in a lot of different areas of the market. You know, people were offering traditional CFDs, but a very limited market range on those. People were offering very vast offerings, I think, in the perpetual futures markets offshore and things like that. But I think with us, when it came to find liquidity for cryptos, we sort of just went everywhere really and decided to build our own pricing engine for it. So we were taking liquidity from traditional clearinghouses, CFD providers, a whole range, even some DeFi protocols as well. So it was really, again, to make the liquidity as deep as possible, especially in a market where liquidity is quite shallow, you have to go to different places. You have to hunt and you have to find it. So yeah, I think that same approach that we had with the cryptos, we really have for even our traditional instruments like FX. I'm a bit of in the same way some of you traders watching right now, or yourself, Blake, or anyone, look at charts all day. I'm there looking at broker spreads, or I'm there looking at liquidity provider spreads. I'm there just looking at those charts all the time and comparing price feeds and that, because it's almost like that's my challenge, is to get that pricing as efficient as possible. And it's you know, much like trading is for some people, you know, pricing and liquidity is a bit of a sick addiction of mine. And that's why it is an ongoing battle, because, you know, the markets are going to change continuously. How different liquidity providers or clearing venues react is different as well. And someone who was your friend yesterday at clearing flow could be your enemy tomorrow. And you have to react accordingly. So that's why I think we have an expansive global team. We're all, you know, pricing geeks who are watching everything nonstop. We also like to trade as well, so we understand that end impact it has on traders. And yeah, we're just always working to make it as competitive as possible. And you know, I think if you take a look at the platform, or I can show some stats here or something, where we'll come out on top. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna say one of the things I've appreciated about you guys at AtoZ and everybody I've worked with there, aside from a couple of ladies in the art department, call it that way, on the other side over in the UK. But the majority of you guys that I've worked with, especially yourself, Marcus, you guys trade and you understand, you get it, and that's not normal. And I've worked with a lot of different brokerage firms out there over the years, and you know, people are just, you know, they're high level, they could care less, they're just, you know, they're trying to get the job done, trying to do this. But you guys actually understand what we as traders need, and that I can appreciate, and I think that's huge. So you know, Marcus, any last things that you'd like to say about EIGHTCAP? There is an offering that you guys have, right?
Yeah, there is. And I actually wasn't aware until I was about to come on this today. And I'm annoyed because I would like to have gotten in on it myself somehow, you know, put in a Ringer account or apply for it. So yeah, there's a giveaway for it. 2 iPhone 14s, I believe. There
are 2 iPhone 14s, but also if you open an EIGHTCAP account, and I believe, and Steve, you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe Stelios, if you open your account with, it was gosh, let me figure out what that was. I thought you would know exactly right off the top of your head.
They don't tell me anything, Blake. I work on the pricing and that's it. The marketing stuff. Oh yeah. I should have asked.
Stelios, what was that number? I think it was, if you open a $2,000 US account, you get 3 months of Forex analytics for included.
It's actually a $500 account. You get 3 months Forex analytics.
What did I say? 2,000?
Yes.
Yeah, I was way off. Okay, so you open a $500 US account with EIGHTCAP, you get a 3-month Forex Analytics Premium, and Forex Analytics Premium, if you haven't been to our website, is $189 a month. So basically, you open an EIGHTCAP account, and you get Forex Analytics on top of it. Cheap. Wow, how'd that work out?
I don't know. Like,
now somebody didn't tell me
it's a bad deal
but that's awesome. And guess what? That's pretty cool. So, and that is only happening because of EIGHTCAP. So, Marcus, there you go.
Yeah, it's been good. Been a pleasure speaking on EIGHTCAP. Definitely feel free to go to eightcap.com if you're outside of the US. Want to get an account. As Blake said, there's a good offer right now for Forex Analytics. And yeah, definitely feel free to check out the spreads. You know, I think we'll be happy with what you find. And if you ever want to reach out to me on LinkedIn and have a chat, anything spread, liquidity, I'd say trading, but I'm not the best at that, but I give it a go. So yeah, if anyone's up for a chat, I'm always available. But yeah, not too much else to talk about on my side. I mean, does this go into like a Q&A now, Blake, or are you guys moving on to the next speaker?
We are moving on to our first interview of the day, Marcus.
Fantastic.
And I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much to EIGHTCAP for being our platinum sponsor. You guys, like I said, you're awesome. You've been, you know, over the last, I want to say, was it 18 months, maybe almost 2 years that we've been working with you guys. I've enjoyed every moment of it. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time, spending it with us, giving us, you know, our traders here a little bit of insight in what you do. And remember, if you guys get signed up, I'm going to put a link that we have a link on the Forex Analytics account. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat box for you guys. And there you go.
Fantastic. Been great to be here. Leave it to you.